Hey, how's it going, guys? Quick little physique update before I get to the point of this video. I think I'm about 200 and change, maybe like 203. It kind of fluctuates in between 200 and 205, Starting to get I guess you could call them the bloat gains because, with how quickly your weight changes from getting on, it's not really legit muscle. You just kind of get this water weight bloat to you. But what I really wanted to talk about today was some of the things in the fitness industry that they don't want you to know. And the funny thing is they're technically not lying. They're just assuming that you're not going to understand what's really going on. And one of the main things I wanted to bring up that I see on Instagram all the time is you'll see those people selling their workout programs. And, they have to do the bi-weekly check-ins and the meal plans, all that stuff. And, they'll say, this is what I do. And, the simple response that most people give is, oh, well, they're on steroids and they're not telling you about it. And my answer to that is not necessarily, because there are people that, like, they are legitimately doing the workout plan that they list to, show how they look the way they do. But what they're not telling you is that they have top of the line genetics. So, it's kind of like this middle ground between they're not lying, but they're kind of lying because they're trying to convince you or, produce this image that, well, you can look like me if you do this. And, I guess it would extremely hurt business, obviously, if they were to put a disclaimer that says, this program may not work if you don't have good enough genetics. You're never going to see that on somebody's program. And so, it's like deception, but not really. A lot of these supplements where they say, take this and it does this, they're all assuming that you're working out hard enough, taking your other vitamins, eating what you're supposed to. So it's kind of like this horse and pony show, I guess you might call it, to where nobody's technically false advertising, nobody's technically trying to dupe anybody. It's just like playing on the fact that people, don't put two and two together. But don't get me wrong, there are people that put up their programs and, they're taking some test or, a stack or whatever. I'm not trying to say that there aren't people that say they're natural and they're not. We all know, obviously, that goes on a lot. I'm just trying to tell you that, you got to think outside the box and think deeper than just steroids. Some of them really are natural. Like, some of them really are. But they're in the top 1% in the world of natural genetics to build muscle. And that is so key with all of this, because, like, if you look at my physique, I don't look like the stereotypical I take steroids look. Like, my physique is attainable naturally by people with amazing genetics. And that's what it all comes down to, guys, is do you have the genetics to look a certain way naturally, or are you like me and you need that little boost, that little pep in your step to feel like you can compete with others because, your muscle building genetics aren't that great for whatever reason. With me, it's the fact that I'm 6'3", I have very long limbs, and I'm naturally just a lanky guy. And anytime I eat, I can't eat enough to build that muscle and put on the size consistently without, having a little bit of stuff going on the sidelines, if you know what I'm saying. So that's really all I wanted to say, is that, they're not like, I could just title this and say, lies the fitness industry tell you. But it's not like they're going out of their way to say, like, oh, they're not on steroids, they're just doing this. It's kind of just leaving it up to the viewer or the reader to be smart enough to understand that, results may vary. Like, that's just it. Results may vary. There is no fucking meal plan or workout plan in the entire world that is going to affect everybody equally and efficiently. And it's the same thing with steroids too. Like, I can put somebody on a dose of test for 3 months, and then somebody else, and one guy comes out fucking like he went in the hyperbolic time chamber, some just massive, after 3 months, gained 30 pounds leaner than when he started, and the other guy, like, didn't change all that much. Even with steroids, genetics still play a role. Like, you can't look to steroids to be the lifesaver for your terrible genetics, because guess what? If you build way bigger arms and a chest naturally and you can never keep them even, you take steroids and it's going to be an even more relevant problem, because everything is growing faster, so now you're going to be even less proportionate. So that's the thing I kind of just want to get people to understand, and I'll go back to it again, is results may vary. No chemical, no plan, nothing is going to affect everybody unanimously and successfully. That's just it, guys. Like, you can't expect that. So I guess you kind of can be mad at the guys that are pushing these programs that say look like me if you do this, but at the same time, just realize that, if you fall for it, then there's really no other fault except your own, because you have to have the diligence, the hard work, the diet, and they're only offering you one piece of the puzzle. So if you're not filling the other pieces yourself, then obviously the shit ain't gonna work. Even with steroids, if you take those and then you're slacking, not eating as much as you're supposed to, not working out as hard as you're supposed to, still aren't gonna grow that much, even with injecting yourself twice a week. So that's really all I wanted to try to say today, is just like keep things in perspective a little bit and understand that fitness and the world, how it works, and how money is generated is all about illusion. So just keep that in mind whenever you're thinking about buying products, or looking at people on Instagram and realizing the Photoshop, the proper angles. This guy's probably like 5'5", so that's why he looks huge. So, it's all about promoting this image of, I don't want to say awesomeness, but that's because that's kind of corny, but, it's just it, like trying to promote like Superman tendencies, So that's really all I have today, guys. Thank you for watching.